Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we're tackling something really important: how classroom setups for special needs students are continuing to evolve. And honestly, the focus is shifting in some pretty practical ways.
Absolutely. The big trend we're seeing is this emphasis on creating clear, navigable zones and minimizing sensory triggers. The goal is reducing anxiety and those behavioral outbursts that can happen when students feel overwhelmed.
Right, so let's start with the zones piece. When we talk about organizing a classroom to create clear zones for different activities, what does that actually look like?
The focus is intentional layout. You're using furniture and visual markers, like rugs, tape on the floor, or even different colored areas to define spaces. Maybe you have a reading corner, a hands-on learning zone, and a quiet area. For students with autism or ADHD, this organized, predictable setting really helps them understand where they are and what's expected.
That makes sense. You're giving the brain a map instead of making it guess.
Exactly, and we're also seeing more flexible seating options, beanbag chairs, floor cushions that accommodate different sensory preferences. Some kids need that deep pressure feeling to stay grounded.
I love that. So the consideration extends beyond placement. It includes how students can interact with those spaces.
Definitely, and one zone that's becoming essential is the calm down corner. It's a designated quiet space equipped with things like weighted blankets, noise-canceling headphones, maybe some fidget toys. I remember setting one up in my first classroom, and within a week, students were using it independently. That self-regulation piece is so powerful.
Mm-hmm. That's helpful. Now let's talk about the sensory side of things. How can teachers minimize those sensory triggers, like noise, lighting, clutter, to reduce anxiety?
Great question. So classrooms are being designed to prevent sensory overload through some pretty straightforward changes. Think neutral colors, soft blues, greens, beige, or light gray, instead of bright, busy walls. Soft, natural lighting instead of harsh fluorescence, and noise-reducing materials like carpets and acoustic panels to dampen sound.
So you're creating that calm baseline environment. Or, put another way, you're building a space where the environment itself supports regulation.
Yes, and decluttering is huge. Visual clutter can act as a sensory trigger, particularly for students with sensory processing disorders or autism. Organized spaces with clear pathways minimize confusion and frustration, which directly impacts behavior.
That point about clear pathways sets up our next piece: how visual supports guide daily routines. But first, a quick word from our sponsor.
Creating inclusive, well designed learning spaces shouldn't mean compromising on quality or safety. Little People's Cove offers commercial grade furniture and toys engineered for high traffic environments like classrooms, clinics, and daycares. With products that meet ASTM and CPSIA safety standards, wipe clean finishes, and modular designs, we help educators create spaces where every child feels valued. Learn more at littlepeoplescove.com.
Picking up on those clear pathways, how do visual supports help students move through their day when the environment is more organized?
Visual schedules are key. They use objects, photographs, icons, or words to communicate the sequence of upcoming activities. This helps students understand and anticipate their day, which reduces anxiety. Consistency and predictability are huge for many kids on the spectrum. When they know what's coming next, their nervous system can relax a bit.
So the consideration extends beyond the physical space. Routines within that space matter too. Have you ever noticed how much calmer a classroom feels when everyone knows the plan?
Oh, absolutely. Clear routines and procedures create that stable learning environment. And then you layer in sensory tools, stress balls, weighted vests, fidget toys, that provide comfort and help students stay focused.
Right, exactly.
I'm curious, are there specific activities teachers can incorporate to help with sensory regulation?
Oh, definitely. Sensory stations are becoming more common. These are areas where students can engage in activities that help them regulate their senses and manage emotions. Maybe kinetic sand, Play Doh, or even just a bin with different textures. It gives them that sensory input in a controlled way.
And mindfulness activities too, right?
Yes, Mindfulness activities help students focus on the present moment and reduce anxiety. Deep breathing exercises, for instance, can calm the nervous system. You're teaching kids how to self soothe, which is such a valuable skill. Though I'll admit, getting a room full of 7-year-olds to sit still for deep breathing can be an adventure.
Ha, I can imagine.
So, to everyone listening who's setting up a classroom this year, what are the 3 most important takeaways here?
First, create those clear zones with visual markers and functional layouts. Second, minimize sensory overload through lighting, color, and noise control. And third, provide tools and spaces for self-regulation. Calm down corners, sensory tools, visual schedules. These aren't just nice-to-haves anymore. They're essential for creating accessible, inclusive learning environments where every student can reach their full potential.
I mean, the research really shows that when we design with sensory needs in mind, we see improved focus, better emotional regulation, and fewer behavioral issues. It benefits both students and teachers.
Absolutely. And the beautiful thing is, a lot of these strategies benefit all students, not only those with identified special needs. A calm, organized environment supports everyone's learning.
That's such an important point. Thanks so much for walking us through these trends today. For everyone listening, we hope this gives you some practical ideas as you think about your classroom setup. Until next time.